Here's three things nobody told you about large language models and generative AI in the enterprises. Number one, large language models alone do not solve all your problems. In fact, there's a lot of challenges with large language models. In itself, it is very good for doing a few things. Code generation, being able to summarize a blob of text with somewhat okay levels of accuracy, to generate a first draft and brainstorm through ideas and write human-like content. But it's not good at doing math, reasoning, all the stuff that we think is very much possible. There's a lot of press around it and stuff. It'll get there, but that alone is not going to solve all of that problems. So you need to mix and combine that with other more targeted, smaller models and approaches to go deliver value at scale for enterprises. I use this chart all the time there's two charts. Number one is Jan LeCun's chart that he talks about, auto-regressive LLMs really suck at a lot of things, but they're really good at a few things, right? But I like to use this practical chart, which talks about a 2x2 matrix. On the x-axis, you have pilot to production. On the y-axis, you have mundane, generic use cases to bespoke, value-add use cases for the enterprise. 90% of all enterprise use cases that we're going to use AI for is in the top right bucket. Just LLMs won't solve that. Number two, you have to set realistic expectations with your business users and consumers of generative AI. These are, highly probabilistic models. Not that the other models aren't, but which is trained on completely Wild West kind of data sets across the world. So it builds a lot of knowledge within how do you understand human language and stuff. But it's got no capabilities around reasoning, accuracy. You don't know it's complete black boxes, right? So you have to be very careful on what the expectations are. It's not going to solve all your problems. And we are in this hype cycle right now with generative AI. There is a ton of potential, but it's going to take a lot of engineering from now to getting there so that we can actually make it do as good as what the potential says. But today, they're good at a few things, like I said, and you have to combine that with different methods. For example, having reliable sources to retrieve from when you're actually asking for summarization or information retrieval kind of use cases. There's techniques called retrieval augmentation. There's fine-tuning that you have to do by actually capturing data that can be used for fine-tuning and so forth. So it's important to understand that setting realistic expectations. An accuracy of 75% on F1 score of 75% on a use case is amazing in the world of large language models, which is nowhere close to what you want to do if you're using a traditional machine learning model. You want the upwards of 90-95%. So having the realistic expectations is key. Number three, change management and stakeholder engagement is everything. Like in any exponential technology, during the initial times, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of lack of trust and so forth. You have to get your business users involved in the process up ahead early on. This is not a technologist domain. And as much as you'd want to go into a hole and build a product and deliver it using API because it seems a lot easier, you will notice that you'll put some chatbot in production using GPT API. You would have implemented a retrieval augmentation system also in there. You go through it to the business and they ask a very different question than what you tested on. And the system doesn't give relevant responses or doesn't rank the responses in the right order. You will learn a lot of things. So you need to iterate with them. You need to set expectations. You need to tell them that the first 30 days or 45 days of usage of this system in production with the business user is going to collect so much data about the question answer pairs you need to fine tune with, about the kind of nuances of what people spend more time on, how they validate and trust the responses. Do they click on the citations? Do you review that? And you have to capture all of that feedback, which is a lot of fodder that you need to go retrain and update this model to go do it. So these are the three things that nobody told you about generative AI or LLMs in production.